for the UN?
Absolutely. It's a threat to the absolute power of the United States.
One of the defining features of this MAGA movement is the ultranationalism. And one of the main enemies are what they call the globalists, and the definition of a globalist.
One of the objectives of the UN is to create an identity of a global citizen.
They create this institution, which is the closest we've ever got to kind of like a world government.
You know, the United Nations does not have its own army.
Should it?
Absolutely.
I'm not sure the United Nations as an institution is going to survive a second term by Donald Trump. The United States government funds 27% of the UN budget.
Is that more than anyone else?
Oh, by a long stretch.
A United Nations without the action of the United States backing it up, it's not going to be effective.
The purpose of Donald Trump is to end the international institutions that somehow level the playing field. It's a movement that is deeply nationalistic. It's America first, America, make America great again, America, America, America. He wants America first.
So does the UN not want him?
Yeah, because I remember her
We are terrified. They're terrified.
So the internal vibe of the UN is like no one wants Trump because of that?
Absolutely nobody wants Trump.
So is the UN just like useless now?
I would say for 95% of issues related to international peace and security, yes.
I work more with the legal counsel, which is the lawyer of the United Nations.
One of the defining features of this MAGA movement is the ultranationalism. No, ultra-nationalism.
right now, like the market is worse than
It's a movement that is deeply nationalistic. It's America first, America, make America great again, America, America, America. We hate immigrants, we hate everybody that is not us, doesn't think like us, doesn't look like us, right? That's a central element.
I'm happy to go. That was fun.
And one of the main enemies are what they call the globalists. And the definition of a globalist. I'm not sure the United Nations as an institution is going to survive a second term by Donald Trump.
Wait, say that again?
Oh, I don't want to come.
I'm not sure the UN is going to survive a second term of Donald Trump.
Why do you say that?
There's nothing wrong. Like, I don't.
Because the
It's
purpose of Donald Trump is to end the international institutions that somehow level the playing field.
Yeah,
He wants America first.
So does the UN not want him?
Yeah, because I remember her.
We are terrified. They're terrified. They create this institution, which is the closest we've ever got to kind of like a world government.
The world government?
A world state.
Like a one world government?
Exactly.
So is globalism one of the goals for the UN?
Absolutely. It's to create a space for also the creation of a consciousness of a species, of a planet, of an identity as a planet. One of the objectives of the UN is to create an identity of a global citizen.
Of a global citizen?
Yes. Of someone who shares an identity, a political identity with everybody on this planet.
Is that known though, that the UN wants, that's one of the goals of the UN?
Yes. And I get it. That is annoying for people that are ultra-nationalists. But it's a threat to the absolute power of the United States.
Why?
Because they don't want an institution over the U.S. telling the U.S. what to do. the United States pays 27% of the total budget of the United Nations. For example, say that the United Nations creates an environmental agency, and that environmental agency says that countries can only reach a certain level of pollution. How do you think all these crazy MAGA people are going to react to that? Who are you, globalists, to tell me, the United States, what I can do?
So is the UN just like useless now?
I would say for 95% of issues related to international peace and security, yes.
95%
Yes.
related to international
It's not
matters?
international peace and security.
International peace and security.
Yes, which is the main goal of this institution.
So it's 95% useless for that.
It's 95% useless.
There are many instances of human rights in which skillful lawyers can take cases in case Trump decides to go completely wrong. One instance is the United Nations, but another instance that I think would work even better is the Organization of American States. It's a regional international organization. Its member states are only in the Americas. So they generally deal with regional matters. The thing is, they have a very good human rights tribunal system. And the United States is part of that human rights system. So you can bring cases against the United States to that system. That is one way to go.
So the political appointees don't do work?
Oh no, oh no.
Like who?
Like, I mean, there is this international law commission when you have people appointed by governments of the whole world. You have people from Latin America, you have the US guy, the Russian guy lost the chair because of the whole Ukrainian drama. There's a bunch of people who are supposed to be great international lawyers, and they're going to make a great job codifying the law of the world, and they just take the money and they don't do anything. The United States government funds 27% of the UN budget.
27%?
Yeah.
Is that more than anyone else?
Oh, by a long stretch.
There is very little power that the United Nations has that is not actually the power of its member states. A United Nations without the action of the United States backing it up, it's not going to be effective. You know, the United Nations does not have its own army.
Should it?
Absolutely. Because as every good lawyer knows, whenever politics get involved, the law disappears. Completely disappears.
When politics get involved, the law disappears?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
How often does that happen?
All the time.
Like what?
And that is something we have to, when Putin decides to invade Ukraine,
What
in
law?
violation of the UN Charter.
Oh, I see what you mean.
Article 2,
Yeah.
the use of force is prohibited in international relations. That's the law. It's clear, crystal clear.